Hey Retro Tech friends, and welcome to another edition of Dave's Retro Video Lab, the show where I check out old video gear from yesteryear. Today in the lab I have a special treat for you. I have here a video camera from 1986. I picked it up from a guy on Facebook Marketplace who was the original owner, and in a moment I will explain a little bit more about his backstory. There's some really neat things about this camera that I cannot wait to show you. I don't know if it works, so in a moment we are going to aim it at the chip chart and see if it works, and fingers crossed it does. So let me break down what came in this ratty box. So just to show you what's inside the box, I got the camera and some other little odds and ends. Hopefully, again, the camera works. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But let's go ahead and show you a couple items that are in here. First off, I have the camera's instruction manual, which you don't always find with the camera all the time, but surprisingly enough, I have the instruction manual, and I also have, believe it or not, the original owner, Robert, also provided the camera's, the bill of sale, plus the warranty card. And interestingly enough, Robert purchased this on November 25th of 1986, and he purchased the camera for $629, and he also bought a dockable Magnavox VCR for $500. So what Robert told me is he is or was a martial arts guy, and he needed a camera to record the matches that he would go to and the where he was competing, and he wanted something to record himself during the matches, and so he bought this Panasonic PK-975. All right, and let's see what we got here. All right, let me just put that into position. Ah, great. So with this PK-975, one of the reasons why I purchased this camera was because of its microphone windscreen. How often do you see a Panasonic camera with a perfect looking mic screen? It's in great shape. I still don't want to touch it because I am worried that it'll instantly fall apart. This is a camera that's going to be well protected. I'm not gonna, I'll use it, don't get me wrong, and that's if it still works, but its microphone windscreen is totally complete, which is really crazy because, like I said, go on eBay, go on all these different sources, you can never find a Panasonic windscreen that is in great shape. One other thing this camera has, which really caught my attention, is it has a C-mount lens on here. This is actually a lens that can come off, and you can put other C-mount type lenses on here. Doesn't have autofocus, just so you know. So I don't believe there is autofocus. I will check, but it doesn't have the little plasticky lens on here. This is like an industrial grade lens, which is really, really impressive. I don't know if it works, so I'm gonna hook this up. But first, probably before I do that, I think I wanna clean the camera and show you how I clean my cameras. You can see here that there's like this whitish residue around the what do you call it, the lens hood here. I wanna clean that up. I also wanna clean up the viewfinder, the little rubber piece here around the viewfinder. It looks like it could use dusting off. Overall, I would have to say the camera is in pretty good shape. It does not have autofocus, or wait a minute, does it? No, I don't think it does. Oh, that's white balance. So it's pretty straightforward. It does have a titler, by the way. Of course, you're gonna want a titler with your 80s camera. So without any delay, what I want to do is I just want to do this because I think that is so awesome. Look at that, a totally cool microphone. Now I got to fix the viewfinder here. It's a little loose, so we'll tighten that up. Let's take off the lens cap. Wow, that's amazing. He still had the lens cap. Let's take a look at that lens. Wow, that looks like a serious piece of glass. I can't wait to turn this on and see if this camera works. I know I've said that like 60 times over, but I drove, like I said, I think it was like 65, 67 miles away to get this camera because when I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, I saw the microphone here and I'm like, where is the microphone? There it is. I have to get this camera because of the stupid microphone is still in one piece and these things bake in their, you know, in the attics that they were stored in. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. Let's see if it works. Now, I have a power supply. It's already hooked up, ready to go. I wanted to save some time here. We got the cable here. All right. We're gonna check this out in one moment. I'm hooking it up to the power supply now. Now, I don't want to tease you, but first, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and what I like to do is dust off the camera. I know some of you probably take like a microfiber cloth, and that's cool. I got one of those standing by. This doesn't look like it was too, it wasn't exposed to too much dust. I am going to guess here that Robert had this thing in a bedroom closet is my guess. I will tell you why. I have this stupid thing I call the Goldilocks zone for cameras. So hear me out. I know it sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. So you know about the Goldilocks zone for planets. If a planet is in a certain area like Earth that's just warm enough and it has the right amount of whatever, it'll produce life, right? I have what I call the Goldilocks zone for cameras, meaning if they weren't stored in a really hot attic or they weren't stored in a really damp garage or in a very moist basement, but if they were stored in like an area that was temperature controlled, like a bedroom closet or a family room closet, the likelihood is that the camera will have survived, particularly because of the microphone. And that tells me so much because of the way the microphone is still intact. That tells me that this camera was not in a very hot location. It had to be temperature controlled. So one of the things I want to do here is if you look on the lens, you will see there's all this whitish yuck here. So what I like to use is it's this vinyl rubber material. It's sort of like, they call it a dressing. I guess you would say it's like a restoration sort of thing. What I have here is a microfiber cloth. And what I will do is spray it onto the microfiber cloth. And then it's probably smart not to do this with the lens cap off, but here, I'm just gonna rub this on the outside for now. I'll clean up the rest of the camera later, but I just wanna show you some of the tips and tricks that I use to preserve my cameras. Next up, we are going to tackle the viewfinder cup here. So I will take more of the rubber restorer or whatever, vinyl rubber dressing. What I'm going to do is, again, I don't want to get it onto the plastic here for the lens for the eyepiece. I also have Q-tips. Yeah, well, they're not your everyday Q-tips. These are specifically for cleaning electronic type Q-tips or electronics. And what I will do is, you have these little grooves right here, right? And this is how I get into the little grooves to clean out all that excess. Let me get my fat hand out of the way there. There we go. So this is how I clean out that extra excess yuck that's in the grooves. I will also take this, rub it in there. Oh yeah, wow. I'm just gonna keep on going. And I'll even do the front of the lens. Like, you can even see right around that front of the lens there. Hold on. I'm gonna try to get in there with the, yeah, there we go. Now, maybe what I'm gonna try here is spraying some of the plastic rubber stuff here on there. And let's see if I can get that in there. It's sort of working. I probably have to use tips, but I think that did a pretty good job. Look at that. There's some areas there that I gotta get, but so far so good. You know, not bad. Here, just because I don't like seeing that stuff. There we go. This camera is in pretty good shape, so I am hoping this sucker works. I have it plugged in to the power supply. Here, I'll show you there. I got it plugged into the power supply. The power supply is already hooked up to my JVC media manager switcher thingy. I don't even know the name of it. So here we go. Are you ready? Let's go check the back of the camera. It's in standby. I think we're good to go. So here comes the power. I just turned the power on. Good. All right. Next up, well, I got a power light here. Let me show you real quick. So there's the little power light. That's a good sign. All right, let's fire it up. Let's see. Ooh, do I get anything? Uh-oh. Hold on, just checking. This is always the scary part. Oh no, wait a minute. Well, let's do this. The viewfinder, I don't see anything going on there. The power light is on. All right, let's cut to here and see. Oh, look at that. So let me show you. I'm gonna pull this back. Interestingly enough, the viewfinder is dead, but the camera still works, amazingly enough. Let's get back to here. It looks like the tube still needs to warm up, or it could just be a bad tube. I'm not sure yet. But let's put it on the color chart here. I think this requires more than just a white balance. Now, in all fairness to the camera, sometimes it takes time, and I learned this from Dr. Smart. I had a bunch of cameras, I almost threw them out, because when I turned them on, their tubes were like not even functioning, and because they had sat for so long, that Dr. Smart, my fix-it guy for my equipment, basically said you gotta wait like several minutes in some cases for the tube to warm up. I don't know if that's the case here, but while we're here, let's just check things out. This has an amazing lens. I just love the lens. It's like a pro lens. Let's see if we can set the white balance. I don't know, my friends. I will give it some time. I am not convinced that this camera is gonna be okay. So I'm not sure if the camera is fully okay. I really need to let it warm up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop down for just a moment. I'm gonna let this tube warm up, and then we'll pick up and see if this tube just needs to be warmed up. So I'll be right back in just a moment. Okay, I waited about 20 minutes so I could let the Nuvicon tube warm up just a little bit. Sometimes it might even look better if you let it warm up for longer, but just taking a quick look, surprisingly enough, it looks better to the naked eye than it does looking at it on camera here. I know CRTs, when they're shot with a video camera, they don't look exactly right. You have to have sort of like an amber gel on here to bring the colors back. But to the naked eye, This is actually looking better, surprisingly enough. There is an auto iris on the camera, and right now the iris is really cranked up. Now it's an auto iris. There is some noise here. You know, these are supposed to be gray, and they have a little bit of red in there. But these chips here, they're okay. You know what? For, again, like I said, this camera is 35 years old. We're looking at a chip chart which is being seen by... I took the PK-975, I put it on a tripod and plugged it into a portable VHS recorder just like this one here. Right now, my image is being recorded onto a VHS cassette. I will take that cassette and I will play it out of a VCR here in my test rack. The output of that VCR goes into a RetroTink 5 Pro upscaler. The output of the upscaler then goes into a Video Devices Pixie 7 video recorder, and right now it's being recorded at 1080p. Hopefully this all works out. I am actually using the audio from the microphone, so you are hearing me from the Panasonic PK-975's microphone. Now what I will do is I have this little color chip chart here. Whether or not you can see this okay, I have no idea. I don't have a way of seeing myself right now because I was too lazy to hook up another TV while setting this up. I'm kind of racing to work right now, but I thought it might be kind of interesting to see what this camera looks like at the moment. I let the camera warm up for about 20 minutes before I recorded this segment, just so I could give the tube, the Nuvicon tube, a fighting chance at trying to reproduce the image as best it can, considering how old it is. So, what do you think? Unfortunately, I think this camera is past its prime, but you never know. So I'm going to take this clip now, and I'm going to drop it into my show, and then you can take a look. I just love this big C-mount lens. It looks like a pro camera, even though for the most part this camera has everyday consumer camera guts. Oh, this camera actually puts out 300 lines of resolution. That is actually kind of surprising. I really thought it was going to be down around 240 or so. It's horizontal resolution. Oh, but I love this. The minimum light intensity is 30 lux. Optimal image quality or image sensitivity is about 900 lux. I think in the lab here we're running about 300 or so lux. But there we go. This is a PK-975 from 1986. I want to thank you so much for watching this special episode of Dave's Retro Video Lab. If you go to the channel's page on YouTube, you can watch previous live streams. They've been recorded. So click on the live tab and you will actually be able to watch my previous live streams, all the content there. There's a couple shorts that I've uploaded. So definitely check out that material. I want to thank you so much for watching. See you soon, everyone. Take care.